Hello everyone, this is Janine Pettit, founder of Girl Camper, and I'm down here in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Mothership Camco with my friend Noah. Hey Noah.
Howdy.
Thanks for helping me.
Happy to.
So I'm always talking at Girl Camper about things RVers can do themselves and things you shouldn't probably do yourself, like install your own weight distribution hitch. But Noah is going to walk me through winterizing my Max trailer one step at a time.
One step at a time. We'll figure out what kind of trailer that we have. What I found is that all the RVs, the trailers that we've winterized have been different. So there's different steps. But primarily what we want to do is we want to remove all of the fresh water out of there and then replace it with antifreeze so that your pipes won't burst in cold temperatures.
When the temperatures drop.
Yep. So there's PEX tubing all throughout the RV and the travel trailer, and we want to make sure that that's not going to burst. That'll give you a lot of problems in the springtime.
We don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And we've got some other products that we'll go over afterwards, but
okay, so it's not hard, but you might need someone to walk you through it the first time. So we're going to get started. And the very first thing we're going to do is go to the source of where we put water in.
Correct.
Okay, we're moving around to the outside of the camper.
Well, we found where the fresh water is going into your RV, and we also found the water heater. So those are good things. Those are the most important in getting the antifreeze and controlling how much antifreeze that we use to winterize your RV. So I'm going to take a look at the water heater first. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make sure that we can, if we can, bypass the water heater. And what that'll do is that'll prevent us from filling the whole water heater up with 5 gallons.
Is that how much? Oh, we'd have to fill the entire thing.
With 5 gallons of antifreeze before it starts pumping out. So because the water heater is here, we're going to go look on the inside and see if you have a bypass kit installed already. And what that'll do is it'll just bypass the water heater, then we'll be able to drain the water heater, and then we can pump antifreeze into the city water fill by using a couple of Camco's products. So if you don't have a bypass kit installed on your water heater, Camco sells various water heater bypass kits that you can install yourself.
All right, so if we do the bypass though, Noah, we have to still make sure that the hot water heater has been drained of all water.
Yes, you're going to want to do that.
Keep that open, so nothing in there, nothing to freeze and expand and break.
Right.
Okay, so let's go inside.
Okay. We can see here that there's already a bypass kit connected and installed, so that's great. We'll see the 3 different valves that we need to turn. We need to turn the hot water off, we need to turn the cold water off, and then we need to turn the bypass on. So now the water can go from the cold and bypass the water heater and go straight to the hot water lines. Another thing that I want to check for is if you have a water pump, which we do, which we can see over here, that does it have a pump converter kit? What that would mean is that it's got an extra tube that comes off of there that we could put the antifreeze in by using the pump instead of having to hand pump.
Hand pump it.
Yeah. So yours doesn't have one. Camco does sell one. If you feel like you want to install one, you can have one installed or do it yourself. There's some instructions included with it. But today we're just going to use the old-fashioned way and hand pump it in.
We're going to get it done. Okay. So now we're back outside and we're going to drain the hot water heater.
Yep, we're going to drain the water heater. So what we need to do is we need to find, we're going to use 2 different valves or touch 2 different things here on the water heater. One is the drain plug, which we'll see right down here. And the other thing is the TMP valve. That's the temperature and pressure valve. This is just a safety valve. If it gets too hot in the water heater, it'll just bust out, release the pressure. Yep. First thing I do is on the, I guess it's a vent here, I just take out this metal piece and it'll allow me to get to the drain plug a lot easier. So you want to be careful with that. I've cut myself before on the metal.
Could be sharp edges.
Yep. This drain plug is really hard to get to. We've designed a wrench to help you out with this process. You'll see that it's bent so that you can get back to that plug fairly easily.
So this is one of those like ingenious things that saves you all kinds of stress and aggravation, but you got to know it's out there.
So what I'm going to do next then is I've got my drain plug there, is I'm going to pull the TMP valve open just like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow air to come in so that it can escape. But you've already drained it out. One thing that I did notice when I took the plug off, and you can see that there, is that you have some sediment inside your water heater. So what this will do is this is a water heater tank rinser, and you can connect it real simple to a water hose and you can stick that up in there. It's a flexible tube, and you can just spin it around, and you'll notice that there will be a lot of sediment that can rinse out. So now it's drained, and there's sediment sitting inside, and all of that's going to dry out. So you just want to rinse it out, wash it out. This is a great tool.
So with our garden hose?
Just a standard garden hose that has an on and off valve. So you just put your garden hose on there, turn
and
it
let
on,
all the water and sediment just flow out on the ground.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll definitely do that. I'll take that home and do it.
Another product that we do sell is a drain plug that has air vents in there. So if you are concerned, if you have mud daubers or wasps and concerned with insects getting up in there, you can install one of these just for storage.
So that's something we would just leave on during the winter?
Yep.
So they don't get in there?
Correct. All right, so that takes care of the water heater. We shouldn't have to do anything else with the water heater. So the next step is we're going to make sure that all the other water has been drained. And if I look down underneath, I know that your water tank is under here, and I can see some valves. So I'm just going to turn them on and make sure that all of the water
is drained.
Okay. So everything's been drained, and so I'm just going to turn off those valves now, because if I leave them open, when we start pumping antifreeze in, it's just going to come out here on the floor. Yep.
Okay. So is pumping the antifreeze in our next step?
That's going to be our next step. Yep.
All right, so Noah, here we are, and we've got to pump the antifreeze in now, and we've got 2 water connections here. Which one are we going to use?
We're going to use the city water connection. So what you've got is you've got a freshwater fill, so you can fill up your tank, freshwater tank, and take that water with you. Or you have the city water fill, which is something that you just connect to the city water pressure at the campsite.
At the campground.
So we're going to pump that through using a Campco hand pump kit. And so what that is, we're going to put this into the antifreeze. I'm going to connect this on there, and I'm going to start pumping. And since you know the RV better, we're going to have you start at all of the faucets, and you're going to open the hot water faucets first, from the highest location down to the lowest. And we're going to make sure.
So the shower first?
The shower, we can do that first. And just open the hot. Let's get some antifreeze running through there, and then we'll shut that one, go on to the next hot, until you have winterized everything. One of the things that we forgot the first time was the outdoor shower too. So if you have an outdoor shower,
I do.
You're going to want to do that one as well. Don't forget to do that.
So
and then we'll go back through and do all the cold water as well.
I'm going to just hook up just like we would at the campground. Just spin that around.
Yep.
Get that going there. You know I have a wet bath, and so I'm going to go there and I'm going to turn on the hot, but I'm going to put the faucet down in the toilet because I don't want that going all over my...
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the first thing we're looking for here is any remaining water in the line is going to come out, and that's going to come out first, and then we're going to be looking for the pink. And I hear it. So we've got a pink shower coming through right now.
So you want about a pint of antifreeze to go through, and that should be pretty good, and we'll move on to the next one.
Okay, I would say that's about a pint.
Well, let's move on to the kitchen sink or another faucet.
Turn the hot off because that line is full now. Starting to see pink. Okay, so Noah, should I let the sink fill up a little with about a pint?
Yeah, it doesn't. We just need to get water through the hot water line.
It's through.
Okay. So do you have any other sinks inside?
No, that's it.
Okay, well then let's do the cold water.
Okay. Oh, there's a lot of water left in that cold water line. So even though we had drained our tanks, there was quite a bit of water left in those cold water lines. So I'm starting by turning on the hot here. I hear it now.
There you go.
And it's running pink.
Running pretty pink. It should be, because we've pumped stuff through those lines pretty good.
All right, so I'm going to just switch right over to the cold.
Yeah.
And I literally, I rarely use this hose. Probably didn't use it last year. So we got pink coming there too.
Yeah.
So now I can turn this off, and we know that this line is protected.
Yep.
Get that out of there.
And that's it for fresh water. Because we were able to do it by using two gallons of antifreeze and winterize your whole water system.
Okay, Noah, We did a good job. We've got the RV winterized. What did that take us, like 35 minutes?
Less than that. I think,
yeah.
we stopped to chat for a while.
Yeah, we did. But look, this was my first time doing it. Next year, that's not going to take me long at all.
Right. Right.
Everybody's RV is different, and as you pointed out, once you know your RV and you get this process down, then that's an easy job an RVer can do themselves.
Absolutely.
You save yourself a lot of money. And then you could wait to the last minute, too. You don't have to get an appointment at the dealership to get it winterized, when you still might want to use it for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a few more things that I do to my RV before I batten it down for the winter, and I want to share with you what some of those are, and then I want you to tell me what some of this stuff is here that maybe I'm not doing and I should be doing.
Okay.
So one of the things that I do before I put the cover on is I get rid of all the black streaks.
Yep.
So that rubber gasket going around the windows, that just kind of leaches, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Over time, it takes a while, but every 6 months or so, I hit that thing with black streak remover, and I get all those little streaks off before I put the cover on.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Then I take my battery out, and I bring it inside, and I put that on a trickle charger for the winter, because a marine battery is expensive, and that's just an easy thing to do. A trickle charger costs like $29 and take care of your battery. And then I make sure all food and everything is out of the camper. I take all the linens out. I get it really completely emptied. I do leave silverware and dishes in mine, but then the cover goes on.
Okay.
What am I forgetting?
Well, we'll start with the food, since you wanted to talk about that. We've got this fridge door stay. And so what this does is that if you don't have an automatic latch that holds your refrigerator door open, you can use these 2 suction cups to hold and prop the refrigerator door open. Because after the season and then you open it up, if it's been sitting closed.
Gross.
So this will just keep the airflow.
Yeah, okay, so you need 2 of these, one for the freezer and one for the fridge. I'm taking this with me. Okay, I'm taking this.
Another thing to do is to put a desiccant or a dehumidifier inside the RV. And you can put these in cabinets, you can put them in the unit, and you can also put them in your storage bins too. And that'll just suck all the moisture out. And
it's going to happen. So how do I activate this? I'm just going to take the top off and peel this off.
Yep, and then put that back on.
Put that back on and sit this on the floor in there or on the countertop.
Yep, that's fine.
So my RV is kind of small, but if you had like a 30-footer, you'd want a couple of these.
Yeah, you want a couple of them, and we do sell them in different sizes. We also have a refillable one that has a lavender scent to it as well.
Okay, so this is something I've never done before, but I'm going to do that this year now. Keep the moisture down. Some
of the other things on the exterior of the RV, if you have a slide out, which you don't, you can use a rubber seal conditioner just around those plastic parts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I had a slide out on my old camper, and that was something that I did at one time. So you would hit this, it's a foaming action, and the seals all around there. You want to keep those nice and moisturized.
Yes.
This is moisturizer for your slide out.
Moisturizer. And then we also have the lube and protectant, so that's for the gears and everything underneath the mechanical parts.
So is this more for a motorhome than it would be for?
Anything with the slide out. So that's where the gears underneath the slide out that are moving, and then that's for the seal. Yep.
Okay, got those.
Also on the exterior, 1 year, all the leaves, they fall down and they can roll up into your awning. You want to make sure that you extend it and you wash it. Make sure you get all the mildew and the awning off, as well as those black streaks.
So I've made that mistake. We were camping and it was raining cats and dogs, and we rolled up the awning. We didn't have something long enough to get it was much higher. What a great segue, right? Yep. So we didn't unroll it when we came home. And in the spring, we had a lovely leaf pattern, and it was a big job to get it off.
Yep. Yeah, they don't come off.
So let's talk about this extension pole, because the old camper, the awning was really high, and I didn't have a step stool or anything at the campground, so I got the leaves off the bottom third. And then the rest of them I couldn't. So let's talk about this thing, which I think is so cool.
Well, we have a bunch of these different sizes, and some extend and some are just standard length. But it's got a push button on there, and it extends out. It's teardrop shaped, which is really nice to hold. It's got handles,
grip,
but it also keeps the pins aligned. So you don't have to worry about
twisting them
it, and where does it snap in the next one.
Where is it now?
Right. We sell a variety. I think we have 4 different brushes, different thicknesses.
This is very soft. So would this be for the awning?
Yeah, you could use this one.
So this would be for the awning, but why couldn't you do the outside of the RV with this?
This would be fine. So
Because
anything
this
soft
is
and
not
extra soft.
super abrasive at all.
Right.
Okay, so would we spray it and then do this?
Yeah, you can use the mildew. This is more concentrated, so you can use this as a spray on there, and then you dilute that into a bucket and use that to wash.
Put that in the bucket, and you guys make great buckets. You make the oval bucket.
We have an oval bucket that
So that
fits
dips
the brush
right
really
in there.
easy.
Brush
You don't have
it.
to worry about it.
You guys also make something that I love, and that is a brush like this that has the hose. So the water is coming
Flow through.
the brush. So after you scrub it all down, you're rinsing and brushing and rinsing
At
and
the same
brushing.
time.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. Let's talk about what this is.
So this is for use to rinse out your black water tank. So this is just one of the methods that we sell for rinsing out the black water tank. You want to make sure that you clean off anything that might still be in there that might cover up a sensor or anything like that. You don't want that getting dry or anything like that. So we've got different rinsers. This one's used inside. You put it through the toilet.
Put it down inside.
Making sure that the valve doesn't shut back, but we've even got a product that helps with that. I mean, we could talk about 30 different ways to flush out your tank. This is just one of them.
So that's a whole separate video, but in the meantime, that is something to do.
Yep.
And you guys make RV covers too.
Yes, we do.
I mean, I had a specific one made for mine, but for those who maybe have not thought about whether or not they should cover their RV, there's a couple of things we should share with people, and that is so important when you get a cover to make sure it's breathable.
Yes.
So tell us why that's important.
Well, you don't want to hold all the moisture inside
Against
underneath.
the
And just, I mean, it's like you're baking your
mold
RV.
And mildew and yeah. So the black seals that go around our windows and things, they need a little maintenance and love too.
Well, we have a specific formulated black streak remover, but it's really important to use RV cleaners on the RVs. So automotive have different, they have clear coat. Well, RV has a gel coat. And so we don't want something that is going to eat through that gel coat. So we want something that's going to float that wax, float the gel coat. Because the sides are flexible on the RVs. It's different than on a car where you can use something that has a different formulation.
Noah, thank you for winterizing with me.
Now you can do it next year.
I'm on my own next year, but this was so much fun down here at headquarters getting it from the top brass here. So thanks, Noah.
All right. Thank you.
This was fun. This is Girl Camper down at Camco headquarters with Noah, talking about maintaining your RV. See you later.